Redacted. And any affiliated entity or person, that means anybody working there, okay, acknowledges Gibson's sole and exclusive ownership rights and will do nothing to challenge or diminish Gibson's rights to the trademarks in the future. Today's video is sponsored by the Songwriting Inspiration app. With Song, you can quickly organize over 6,000 guitar chords into major and minor keys and start writing more sophisticated, harmonically rich songs. Save your lyrical ideas and record quick melodies right inside the app to stay organized. Check out the Songwriting Inspiration app today. Links in the description. Hey, how's it going, boys and girls? Brad the Guitologist here. It's been quite a while since I've come to you guys in this sort of manner, but here I am coming to you now. Some developments have begun in the Gibson versus Dean case, and that I wanted to catch everybody up on because it's kind of important. Really important to the guitar community. It's definitely something that I had followed for quite a while, but I wanted to make this video because I've learned some things. Boy, have I learned some things. I have in my possession some documents that have leaked from a source that I cannot name. The lawyers from Dean have begun deposing witnesses in the case of Gibson versus Dean. And apparently some of the people that they're calling are some of these signatories to Gibson's licensing agreement, where they have licensed people to build guitars that are in the Gibson style or Gibson shape. You may have seen some of these companies that have this logo on their website where it says that's they're Gibson authorized. But basically anywhere where you see this logo, that means that that this company has been approached by Gibson to do a licensing agreement. I spoke today with the owner of a company called Rock and Roll Relics, a guitar company out of Los Angeles, California. The owner of that company's name is Billy Rowe. He also happens to be the new guitar player for the band Buckcherry, but he also owns this guitar company, and he was one of the companies that was approached to do a licensing deal by Gibson, except he did not sign the licensing deal. Billy is not the person who leaked the licensing deal to me, but I cannot divulge who did it, and it's for reasons that will become apparent here shortly. But I thought what I would do here in this video is, first of all, read through this licensing agreement with you. Now you may be asking yourself, why is this interesting? Why should I care what this licensing agreement is between two private parties in the guitar industry? Well, it's showing you the inside baseball on what is going on in the guitar business, for one, and it's showing you inside baseball into what's going on in the heads of the Gibson executives and why they might be doing this sort of agreement, and it's going to show you the sorts of pitfalls you might want to watch out for if you're ever approached to sign an agreement like this. But I wanted to start out here. We'll go through this licensing agreement together. So here's page 1. Pretty standard. It starts out, this boutique collaboration and licensing agreement, the agreement, effective as, and I've redacted the date, or at least part of it. This happened in 2019. The effective date is entered into and between Gibson Brands Incorporated and the redacted party, who I cannot mention, whereas Gibson is the sole and exclusive owner of, and then they list all of these trademarks that they have here, so they're getting this out of the way up front. So Gibson, the owner of all of these things, and you look down through here and take note of these because this will be important a little bit later. The Les Paul body shape, you got the Explorer body shape, the SG, the ES335 shape, the Firebird shape, the Flying V, the Bell Rod truss cover, etc., etc. Whereas Gibson has agreed to license to, redacted, certain body shape trademarks listed on Exhibit A, collectively body shape trademarks, as a boutique licensee. During the term, Gibson hereby grants, redacted, a non-exclusive, non-transferable right to use the body shape trademarks in connection with the redacted guitars provided. However, redacted is limited to the sale and or manufacture of no more than 50 guitars per year, cumulative. So they can't make more than 50 guitars per year that contain one of these Gibson trademarks. It is understood and agreed that Gibson reserves the right to monitor the body shape trademarks, and where Gibson, within its reasonable discretion, determines that the redacted guitars do not meet the trademark guidelines of Gibson, Gibson shall issue instruction for proper use, and redacted shall abide by such reasonable instruction. So basically that means that this company no longer is able to make trademark-like guitars in the way that they see fit. So Gibson actually will be able to come in and tell them, if you're going to make this guitar, you have to make the headstock shape exactly like this. You have to make the body exactly like this. You can't deviate from it the way you might want to. You might want to put a different cut in there. You might want to do something different with it. They're saying Gibson has the sole discretion to come in and tell them exactly how they want these guitars to look. Any and all use of Gibson's body-shaped trademarks shall include a legal line provided by Gibson, setting forth Gibson's exclusive ownership rights to the body-shaped trademarks. That means that every time they sell one of these guitars, either on their website or wherever, they have to put legal language on the site, basically giving homage to Gibson for these trademarks. They also have to probably, the way it reads to me is they also probably have to, if they ship these out to guitar stores for sale in guitar stores, the guitar stores will have to have like a hang tag or something on the guitar, or a sticker or something somewhere on the guitar that indicates that they're Gibson licensed. This legal line shall be placed on redacted website and any other places where redacted instruments bearing the body-shaped trademarks are sold. So yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I said. Redacted shall not sell or market any instrument hereunder which has not been reviewed and pre-approved in writing by Gibson. So that means they can't sell stuff on the side. They can't just build something for their cousin. They can't even build something for themselves without Gibson stamping off on it. So probably I would say also that Gibson would have wanted some kind of serial numbering for these guitars as well that they could recognize in the marketplace. Number 2, royalties. Redacted shall pay to Gibson a royalty of 10% of gross receipts. Gibson reserves the right to audit all sales records. So basically Gibson is not only going to be in your business on your building end, they're also going to be in your books as well. Number 3, acknowledgement. Now this is the one you really want to pay attention to, because this one will pop up again later at the end of this agreement, and it's pretty important. And this is kind of really messed up, some of the clauses in this. Redacted, and any affiliated entity or person, that means anybody working there, okay, acknowledges Gibson's sole and exclusive ownership rights to the trademarks and will do nothing to challenge or diminish Gibson's rights to the trademarks in the future. Redacted, and any affiliated entity or person, that means anybody working there too, okay, will do nothing to damage the reputation of Gibson or the trademarks. That means you can't talk about Gibson in a bad way or their trademarks in a bad way. You can't question Gibson's legitimacy on these trademarks basically ever again for the rest of your life. Further, redacted, and any affiliated entity or person, that's somebody who works there, somebody that they're affiliated with, agrees that it will not adopt or use a mark comparable or similar to the trademarks other than provided in this agreement, whether by itself or in association with another company. That means that any of the people that work for this company at the time that this agreement goes into effect, anybody who is a signatory to this agreement at the time that this goes into effect, or an owner of the company, these people cannot go off later on in 20 years, go to a different guitar maker and start rebuilding Gibson guitars. They will be an instant breach of this contract. And you'll see what I mean. Well, you might say to yourself, well, by then surely the contract will have been over, right? But we'll see in just a minute. All goodwill that stems from redacted use of the body-shaped trademarks shall inure solely to the benefit of Gibson. Term and termination. This agreement will remain in effect for 3 years from the effective date unless Gibson terminates this agreement where redacted is in material breach of its obligations and said breach is not cured within 30 days. Yada yada. This is all fairly standard. except for the joint press release, which must be agreed to in writing by Gibson. The terms of this agreement shall be held confidential. So now you understand why the person or entity that leaked this is actually in material breach, and I cannot divulge to you, and I would never divulge to you or anyone else my source on this. So remember Section 3? So the terms by their nature, which includes Section 3, should survive the termination or expiration of this agreement. So that means even when this agreement is annulled, Section 3 remains. And remember what Section 3 was. These people can never talk badly about Gibson ever again. They cannot question Gibson's trademarks. They can't build anything that resembles Gibson's trademarks. Even if they go to another company, they can't build any of this stuff. So let's say you are working for this company, or you're the owner of this company even, and later on you dissolve your company completely. And then you go work for somebody else, or like, you know, if you're hired by Guild or you're hired by whoever, and they start making instruments that resemble any of the Gibson trademarks, you are now in material breach of this contract that they have said basically never ends for you. So, you know, and you can see down here that this thing was signed off on by Caesar Guikian, the chief merchant officer. I've redacted the date just so they can't try to narrow it down to one person, and I've redacted his signature as well. But like I said, you know, he's in material breach of the confidentiality clause in this by leaking this information. But this is absolutely newsworthy information. I thought it was really interesting to pass along. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. What do you think of an agreement like this? Do you see this as perfectly standard and acceptable? Do you see this as something that is draconian and just goes way, way overboard? The guy that I actually talked to that did not sign this agreement, he did not sign it on the advice of his lawyer. And I told him, I said, hey, Billy, I think your lawyer just basically saved your guitar business. And he said, he more or less agreed with me and said, yeah, it sounds like it. Alright guys, that'll do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, hit subscribe down below. And for now, we'll see y'all later.